Spoiler alert. The girl he left me for was the same girl he left me for 10 years ago. So I want to start off this story time with a little backstory so you get the gist of the whole relationship. Way back when in 2010, we dated for maybe 6 months, and we'll just call him T for short. And he came to me and he was really open and honest and sweet. He was like, I just can't keep stringing you along. You know, you're a good person, but I'm really hung up on my ex and the way things left, and I can't stop thinking about her, and I just can't be with you. I am such a loving person, and I always want to help people. So when he did that, I was like, that's fine. Let's just be friends. I care about you enough. I just want you to be happy no matter what. So I actually used some resources that I had and connections that I had, because he did not know how to get in touch with this ex, to help T track down this ex and get in touch with her. And I met this guy, and we ended up hitting it off. So I had been with this guy for a little bit and moved in with him, and T contacted me and was like, you know, I'm really sorry for the way that I treated you, for the way that I left you. Me and that girl didn't work out. She's on drugs. She, you know, it wasn't what I thought it was. But I was like, you know, thank you for the apology, but I'm already with somebody else. I'm happy. Me and this guy that I was with at the time, we ended up moving in together, getting married. This sister plays a big role in this story. She had been in my life this whole time, through me and T dating the first time, and me helping him, and me being with my ex-husband, and she had hung out with me and my ex-husband, and she had done favors for my ex-husband. And so, to make a long story short, that marriage ended, and T came to my rescue as my friend, and we really became best friends at that point. He became my shoulder to cry on. I would call him when I moved out, and I needed help going to pick up furniture. I didn't have a truck. I would call him. He would come pick me up and take me to pick up the furniture. He would put my furniture together. You know, just anything that I needed. My shoulder to cry on. If I got drunk at the bar and was just a total mess and couldn't drive and was all upset, he would get out of bed at 2 o'clock in the morning and come pick me up. Sorry. He would come pick me up and take me home. And when I bought my house, I was so proud of myself when I bought my house after my marriage ended, and I rented an apartment for about a year. I was able to buy a house for me and my kids, and he helped me again move and with the furniture and all of that. So we had been great friends. And so my marriage ended in 2014. And so we continued to be great friends up through 2018 is when we started dating, but he was just there for me. He was the one that I called no matter what. He was just my best friend, and so was his sister. And he always used to tell me, he was like, you know, I was a fool back then, give us another chance, we're great together, we're great friends. And after my marriage ended, I was so heartbroken and just so trying to work on myself and figure out what kind of life I wanted. And I didn't really want to date anybody, and I dated nobody. It just wasn't T, it was nobody. So I always used to tell him that we're just good as friends, you know. So 2018 came around. He was dating somebody because I always refused to date him. I just told him I wanted to be single, which is fine. He was on a beach trip with her, and some stuff happened on that beach trip, and things for them began to go south. And so he texted me and called me, and I was just his shoulder to lean on. So they broke up. So in July of 2018, we started dating. For the first 10 months, almost the first year, things were great. We went on trips to the Biltmore, and We were just so in love. We would hang out with his sister. She would invite us to come do things. It was just magical. The downfall of the relationship, the signs that I tried to ignore, really started in July of 2019. My daughter cheers, and she had a cheer competition in Orlando. We decided to stay in Orlando for 9 days, to stay a little bit longer than the cheer competition was going on, and do some of the Disney parks, go to NASA, make a whole family vacation of it. And it was me, T, and my daughter, just the three of us. So the hotel room we had was just a standard hotel room with, 2 queen beds side by side. A little bathroom, just a standard hotel room. He woke up one morning while we were in Orlando, and he tried to get me to sleep with him. And I refused to, because my daughter was laying right there in the bed next to us. And it's not like she was young anymore. She was, 14 at the time? 13, 14. She was old enough that if she woke up, it would be embarrassing. I personally felt like it was very inappropriate, but because I refused, he got very belligerent with me, very huffy puffy, and so we only had 1 day out of this whole trip that we had Magic Kingdom tickets. And so for half of our day that we got to spend at Magic Kingdom, I had the most horrible time. We walked around. He was angry at me, refusing to speak to me at times, arguing with me, just huffy puffy, threatening to leave me and my daughter in Orlando by ourselves. He was gonna go get on a plane and come home because he didn't want to be with me no more. Who does that? I promise I'm getting to the whole story about his sister's death and him using that as an excuse. Just bear with me because the backstory really tells a lot. So we get back from Disney and things are fine for just a little bit. And then I guess we get to arguing one day, and I'm just gonna read some text messages, which I will also put on the screen. August 17th of 2019. This is probably about 2 to 3 weeks after we got back from Disney. He texted me and said, "I can't keep feeling or being made to feel like I'm always the one in the wrong. Yes, I'm an asshole, and yes, I do plenty of things wrong that hurt you, but not always." And my response was, "And I keep feeling or made to feel like I'm not good enough for you. For one, I've always asked to go riding four-wheelers, but you say yours doesn't work. I'm forced to have sex with you no matter how uncomfortable I am with it, or I will have to face the wrath of you telling me how horrible of a person I am. I'm sorry, I know I've hurt you too, but again, all the bullshit started not because either on me or us had a problem with our relationship, but because I didn't want to watch your dog." So he asked me to watch his dog, and I said no. And that's when we started arguing, because I said no. He hung up the phone with me, and when I tried to call him back, he wouldn't answer. And so I texted him, and we started texting. So my text message continues. "So again, I'm forced to do something so that I don't have to deal with your attitude. I take responsibility for what I do to you, but I can't deal with your up and down attitude anymore. I can't do it. I just want to waste my numbered days on this earth hurting and crying." So at this point, I was starting to see the mental instability in him. He would say that I would pitch fits and because it always had to be my way or no way. But if I ever tried to have an opinion on something that I think it's important for people to have their own opinions about, like, what they're comfortable with during intimacy, what they want to do, what they don't want to do, you know. If I was to ever say no to something, with him, it wasn't a conversation. It wasn't, why do you feel that way? Why are you uncomfortable? Can I make you more comfortable? You know, there was never a conversation around it. He immediately got upset. It was either hang up the phone if we were on the phone talking about it. It was, well, you're going to do it, or I will find somebody who will. I'll just go leave you and find somebody who will. I'll just go date somebody else. I heard that so much. My self-confidence started to take a dive, and I didn't realize it at the time. I was so in love with this man at this point that I could not even see what was happening to me, what was happening to me as a person, what was happening to me as my self-confidence. I had always been the strong, independent woman that had spent most of my life as a single mother, raising my 2 kids, buying a house. And I began to feel worthless. There were times when I could see his emotional abuse span outside of me. He had a bonfire one time that he invited his sister, and she was a radio DJ. So she had to get up early in the morning to run a morning show on the radio. And she lived about 3 hours away. So she wanted to come and see her brother and see everybody and come to this cookout bonfire party he was throwing. So she drives all the way there. And we have this party, and I know people are drinking, and you know, parties go late into the night. But she had told him that she was getting tired and asked him to get the air mattress out for her. About an hour and a half went by, and he didn't do it. And so she told him again that she would probably be laying down soon, that she was really tired. You know, we're talking about, it's like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'll get it in a minute, and he never did. And so she used to live with him. So she knew where it was kept, in a bedroom in the closet. So we go into the closet to get the air mattress out. And he comes in and cusses her up and down and talks to her like no other because she went through his stuff and got the air mattress out of the closet. Before her death, he was so mean to her. He was mean to me. And he also started being mean to his dog, which I couldn't stand to see. And there were times where if his dog didn't listen, instead of just yelling at him and putting him in the crate, he would hit him or kick him. And I think it was at this point I started not saying anything at all for fear of having to deal with his attitude. But it was only on certain days and certain moments, and then he would be back to being his charming self. So after we got past the whole Disney trip and got back on track, he texted me, and we were just having a conversation. I think maybe it was after we had a fight, a tiff, an argument, whatever. We were stuck in this toxic cycle. And he told me that, like he said the night before on the phone with me, that by Thanksgiving we should be living together. Oh, as if I didn't think things could get worse. I don't even know how to describe what happens next. So he moves in October, and things are going great. And let me pull up the text messages because I kind of want to read them word for word. So we're living together for like a month, 6 weeks, something like that. He moved into my house because I have children. Their stuff was already here. I have the bigger house, and all of our stuff wouldn't fit in his house. So y'all gotta listen to this. This is the day before Thanksgiving 2019. I text him. I was already at work, 7:30 in the morning. And I said, I have to go to the grocery store after work because my mom isn't going to be able to make the cake that she was planning on due to the anesthesia from yesterday. My mom ended up having surgery. I was supposed to skip my family's Thanksgiving to go to his family's Thanksgiving. But I didn't want to leave my mom stranded with my family's Thanksgiving. So I said, I'm making some dessert for her house for Thanksgiving. Let me know if you want me to make a cheesecake pie or something for your house or our house. I love you. He texts back, 9:27 a.m. No, I think he meant just don't worry about it. We have it covered. Just make sure your stuff at your family dinner is taken care of and help your mom. Sass texts back, what time are we going to your house in the morning? I have to figure out and arrange Robbie's schedule tonight. Robbie is my son. So he was living with me, so he's no longer living at his house, but his family's Thanksgiving was at his house. He said, response back, I don't know, we'll figure it out all tonight. Okay, I'm thinking, you're going to be home tonight when I get home from work. We'll discuss it then. I said, okay, I love you. Have a good day. He said, love you too. And then that was like 9:27-ish in the morning. And normally he would text me on his lunch break at work and just ask me how my day was going. And I didn't hear from him. So like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I text him back and I'm like, are you okay? He said, yes, I am. I'm like, okay. So 4:55 p.m. comes. So I pull up to my house. I pull up to my house, home from work. And I worked the early shifts. I always went to work before he did, which meant I got home before he did. I pull up to my house. And I come into the house. And his dog is not barking. Well, why is his dog not here? And then I start noticing things are missing. So I text him and I said, so you're just leaving me. Now, remember this whole conversation I've just read you. The entire day, this is all the same day, the entire day he's telling me that he's going to be home tonight. We're going to discuss Thanksgiving dinner, yah. The entire time he's texting me that, he was packing his stuff up, moving out of my house, leaving me, and lying to me. I really should have just left it at that. I should have knew at the point that he could lie to me after everything we had been through, been best friends for years, at the point that he could lie to me in this moment. But you never want to believe the red flags. You always want to believe the good in somebody, especially when you love them, because it hurts so much to be without them. The things that were missing when I started going through the house. My motorcycle helmet is gone, but my four-wheeler riding helmet is still here. Because I paid for the four-wheeler riding helmet, he paid for the motorcycle helmet. Both are hot pink. He's a guy. He wasn't going to wear a hot pink helmet, but he took everything out of my house that he had ever paid for. He took the unopened bottle of wine out of the refrigerator because he paid for it. So if you're going to leave me the day before Thanksgiving, at least leave me the daggone bottle of wine to drink, because you know I'm going to be heartbroken. He had bought some candles from Yankee Candle that were sitting on my fireplace mantle. They were half burnt. We burnt them all the time. He took the half burnt candles off the fireplace. Like, that is how nitpicky he got, and I could understand if we had been fighting or arguing and he was just trying to be spiteful, but remind you, I did nothing wrong. Okay, so we gotta hurry up and get to the whole sister's death thing, because I know that's what y'all are here for. So, let's just say, after Thanksgiving of 2019, we got back together before Christmas because, you know. And then we broke up again in March of 2019. We stayed kind of talking as friends on this are we, aren't we, back and forth crap. At the beginning of July of 2020, or maybe it was the second week of July of 2020, we decided that we were going to work on us and fix us and got back together. So, from the time he left me Thanksgiving of 2019 up until July of 2020, me and his sister had been talking back and forth on, because she lived 3 hours away, talking back and forth between text message and Facebook Messenger every few days, every week. She was really becoming closer to me, becoming the person that, like, he once was to me. She was my shoulder to cry on, my shoulder to lean on. She had been going through a divorce. We could relate to each other. We were keeping each other strong. I really found myself getting closer to her than I had ever been. So, July 26th of 2020, he texted me and asked me if I had heard anything out of A today. We'll call her A. Out of A today. And I said no. I texted her happy birthday, but she never responded. Or that's what he said. He said I texted her happy birthday and she never responded. I said I wished her happy birthday on Facebook. I haven't heard anything. So fast forward a few days. I was at his house. It was a Friday night. I asked him about if he had talked to A, and he said yes, that she had finally texted him back. So I was like, okay. I don't know what made me think in the middle of the movie to ask about her that Friday night. It was so freaky that it happened like that. But, so we finished the movie. He brings me home because I had been drinking wine at his house. Go to bed. It's late. And he starts texting me really early on that Saturday morning, which was weird to him. I am always an early riser. He is not. But his parents had called and woke him up, and he had received some messages that that Friday night she had went to the hospital where she lived, and that she was currently on life support. I'm sorry. She was currently on life support, and then it wasn't looking very good. What I thought was weird was, because I'm such a family person, my first instinct is, well, are you going up there? Like, you know, do we need to pack a bag? Do you want to go by yourself? Like, you know, do I need to watch the dog while you go? Like, you know, I don't have sisters and brothers, but if that was my family or whatever, it's only a 3-hour drive, I would have been in the car and been at the hospital. But then again, I get that they weren't really letting people visit in the hospital because it was COVID, but to me, I would have still been there. I would have been right there in the parking lot in my car. I don't know, but he didn't want to go. His parents were keeping him up to date. He said there was nothing that he could do. So that Saturday night, we kind of just had dinner, and that was it. That Sunday morning, things were looking better. They were going to do a surgery on Monday morning, which was August the 3rd. And that Monday morning, I texted him, and I said, have you heard any updates on A? Did they say what time they were doing her their surgery today? He said, no, he hasn't heard. And then he texted me back, and he said his mom just, I guess, put up on Facebook that she just went in for her surgery. And I said, okay, just keep me updated. He said, I will. And then he texted me back and said she's not going to make it. And I was like, so what happened? She was doing better. Are you okay? And then it took him a little bit to respond. He said, no, I'm headed home. I'm headed to go see my parents. So at this time I knew that it was bad because he was on the way out of town where he didn't want to go the whole weekend. He left work and he went. And so I guess he was driving. He wasn't really responding to me. I said, if you need anything, let me know. I can do whatever you need me to do. Please let your parents know I'm thinking of them and praying for them. Please drive careful, and I love you. And he said, I will, and I love you too. And the next time I heard from him, he said she was gone. I have struggled ever since that day. It hit me really hard. It still hits me really hard. I don't think he really realized how close to her I felt, how much of a friend she had been to me. I felt like with COVID hitting and me and him breaking up at the beginning of 2020, that there were times where I felt like I might have been in a bad place mentally, and I might have tried to harm myself if it hadn't been for her. And if it hadn't been for being able to text her and talk to her and have somebody to relate to who knew how I was feeling. But I couldn't really let him know how crushed I was, because I felt like he just lost his sister. What right did I have to be upset? And then I needed to be strong for him. She passed away on August 3rd. So on August 19th, I was texting him complaining about something about work. So when I was texting him complaining about work, he said, well, you might just have to take a couple of days off in October and then come to the beach. And this was on August 19th. So he invited me to the beach. He tells me after he's invited me to the beach that he doesn't know. His sister's death has caused him to rethink his entire life. He doesn't know what he wants out of his life anymore. He doesn't know if he wants me to go to the beach. He doesn't know if he wants to be with me anymore. Here we go, back and forth, round and round and round we go. The next day, he texts me like nothing had happened. Like he hadn't just told me that he didn't know what he wanted out of life anymore, and he didn't know if he wanted me anymore, and he asked me to do him a favor. He asked me if I could take him to the car dealership where he was buying a new car and drop him off so that he could pick up his car. So I did it because I'm a fool. So let's get to the last 3 weeks of this relationship. We have a great time at the beach. There's a few things that did happen at the beach. I didn't feel that they were very big, but he will later blame some of them too. So, we spent a week at the beach. I felt we had a great time. I felt like I became really close to his parents. They came for a few days while we were there. I really started feeling like a part of his family. And considering I was so close to his sister, and then she died, and then I felt like I was getting close to his parents. At this point, I started seeing myself marrying him. I really thought things are starting to look up. I know it's been a whirlwind the last few years, but things were starting to look up. We were getting to a good place. We were having a great time on vacation. Like this is just it. So we were riding motorcycles one day at the beach, and we almost got into a motorcycle wreck. This guy wanted to cross over into our lane, and T moved over so that he didn't hit us. But because T has an attitude issue, which we know from this whole story, instead of just letting the guy go on down the road and shaking your finger and cussing at him and whatever, T decides to get as close to his truck as we can and smack the rear view mirror and cuss the guy out. And so when T does that, the guy gets over in the other lane, and then T gets over in the other lane in front of him, and they play chicken for a little while. All the while, I feel like I'm about to die on the back of a motorcycle, which is also why I hate riding motorcycles. But anyway, the week after we got home from the beach, I really got some text messages from him that really started to solidify in my heart that I was going to marry this man. When our relationship first started, he used to text me like, "Good morning, beautiful," yada, yada, yada. And then as the toxic cycle went on, it just became good morning and nothing else. After we got home from the beach, he started texting me again, "Good morning, beautiful," with little like kissy face emojis and, you know, "I love you, have a good day, I miss you, I can't wait to see you." This is where shit happens. October 23rd, we got back from the beach on October 11th. He's going on a camping trip for the weekend with his dad. I text him, "Good morning, hope you have fun on your camping trip." He texted me back and said, "I hope so too. I need to clear my head because I have a lot going on up there right now." And I still think that he is struggling with his sister's death, which I'm struggling with too. And again, I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it because I don't want to upset and hurt him any more than he's already hurting. Or I thought he was hurting. So I'm sorry. I wish there was something I could do to make it better. And then me and my daughter are sitting down watching a movie. It's about 8:30 at night. I hear from him nothing else the rest of the day, but I figured he's with his dad. They're doing things. He texted me. Wasn't expecting him to text me. He said, "I'm sorry I am the way I am now. My whole world has been twisted. I never knew how much A meant to me. I can't do anything about it. I hope to come back Sunday with some things figured out. Just know I do love you. I'm sorry for putting you through this. Hope you and Morgan, my daughter, have a good weekend." So my response is, are you saying you don't know if you want to be with me? Because then, like, this sounds like a breakup text. Why is this a breakup text? I said, otherwise you aren't putting me through anything, and I am trying to be so supportive of him, and I'm so scared of hurting him, and for him to turn around and do what he does next. I don't know how you forgive that. Anyways, otherwise, you aren't putting me through anything. I get it. A meant a lot to me too. She's always been my friend no matter who I was with, and this past year we leaned on each other a lot. I can't imagine what you're going through. Healing takes time. Hope you enjoy your weekend, and I love you. I will be here if you need anything, no matter what, and no matter what you need to do for you. Just take care of you. I have Morgan, and October 25th. I know things were starting to go in the right direction for us, but I'm sorry. I need to take a step back. A lot has happened in the past 2 months, and there's some things I need to fix about myself. I feel I need to do this alone and not keep dragging you along. So he's referring to his sister's death here, and he's talking about fixing himself. And I start thinking about back the last 2 years, our whole relationship, the way he has been with me, the way he has been with her. At this point, he realizes that he was mean to her. He can no longer ever make it up to her. She's gone forever. And I feel like maybe he is just struggling internally with himself, with losing her, with the fact that he was mean to her and can't make it up to her. And so I am still trying to be a friend at this point. So I said, "Do you mind me asking what you feel you need to fix about yourself? Anyways, if you feel you need to do it alone and that's what's best for you, I will respect that. I just want you to be happy and be okay. And no, I don't feel like you're dragging me along. I love you, and that's what a relationship is supposed to be. 2 people in it together for the bad and for the good." The next day, I text him, October 26th, and I said, "Can I ask you a question? Just because you know I'm an overthinker. Does this have anything to do with our past at all? About you feeling like you need to fix yourself? I guess I'm asking, do you think there's hope for us in the future?" And he said, "This is about me." I respond the next day, October 27th, with this long text message about how I've tried to be supportive of him, that I want to be supportive, for him just to take care of himself, that I love him, that I'm here, I will always be here. Because at this point, I didn't know he was leaving me for another woman. He's telling me he's hurt over his sister's death. October 28th, he finally responds to my long message. Look, you haven't done anything. I'm trying to tell you that this is me and not you. But stop overthinking it, because you take things like me turning off my Facebook and you turn it around thinking it's about you. You shouldn't wait on me. You deserve better. I thank you for everything you've done for me. And I really should have knew something was up then, but I was trying to trust and believe him, because at this point, I'm thinking my entire friendship and relationship has been a lie if I can't trust him. So he texts me 2 days later, October 30th, and he said, I'm going to be okay. A lot's happened in the past 11 months, and especially in the past 3 months, referring to his sister's death and the motorcycle accident that happened at the beach. I'm going to be okay. Just a lot going on and a lot to process, and I can't do that because so much of my time is consumed by work that I don't have time to take care of my personal life. Don't worry about me. I'm not going to do anything stupid. So on October 30th, he's referring to he can't even take care of his personal life because work is getting in the way. So I'm still thinking, there's no one else. He's internally struggling. Mutual friends on Facebook, and he changed his relationship status. And his relationship status that he had said that he had been in a relationship with this new person since October 25th, which is the day he broke up with me. Now, he claims he did not cheat on me. And technically, you broke up with me to be with someone else. So you did leave me to go to her. But guess what? You didn't break up with me. And 3 hours later, run into somebody at the convenience store and just be like, oh, we're in a relationship now. You were already talking to her before you broke up with me. To be in a relationship with her on the same day. Just my feelings on that. He will claim that he never cheated, but whatever. At this point, November 3rd, I had not yet found out that he had changed his relationship status on Facebook and that he was in a relationship since the day he broke up with me, so I still did not know there was anybody else. How stupid can I be? And first of all, let me just ask, if you leave me to date someone else and you're happy dating someone else, why are you continuing to text me after the fact? Why does my life matter? But anyway, November 3rd, he texts me. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for making you feel bad and making you feel like you weren't good enough. I do feel bad because I know you're hurting and you didn't do anything. I wish I could go back and do things differently, but I know that's not possible. I'm sorry. And so I texted him back. I said, thank you for the apology. It meant a lot to me. I appreciate it. I had to kind of think about it a little bit. So the next day, on November 4th, I said, I'm sorry I didn't say much yesterday. Your message caught me off guard. But please don't apologize for needing to get you together and figure yourself out. I understand and want what is best for you. I will be fine. My heart hurts and I miss you. But it's all in God's hands, and if we're meant to be, our life journey will bring us back together. Always know you have me as a friend you can call anytime. Take care of yourself. Because at this point, I didn't know he was leaving me for another woman. I still thought he was struggling with his sister's death. And I loved him so much. I just wanted him to be okay. And whatever I could do to make sure that he was okay, I was willing to do that. So I started seeing a therapist. Because you know what, sometimes you just have to talk to somebody. Because if you don't get it out, it will fester and you will struggle with it the rest of your life. I decided after talking to my therapist to deactivate my Facebook account for a few days. He texts me on November 6th. Okay, you said something about me shutting down my Facebook so you couldn't keep tabs on me, but then you blocked me. It's cool. Like I said, I'm sorry for hurting you again. You're mad because you think I blocked you on Facebook. And again, at this point, I don't know he's seeing anybody else. So I respond because I don't want to cause him any more pain than his sister's death has caused him. Because at this point, this is what I'm still thinking, that I'm trusting what he's telling me. I said I didn't block you. I deactivated my Facebook for a few days per my therapist gave me a challenge to do. When I reactivate it, we'll still be friends unless you delete me. I said, that message kind of hurt. Why don't you ever ask questions first? But I reactivated it. Look now. And I said a few more things about, he did hurt me, but I was trying to understand because it's not all about me. And then I know that he's been hurting too in a different kind of way. I promised back when we got back together I was working on myself and changing myself, and I've done that. I wouldn't block him unless he posted something that really hurt me. I don't want to see him with another girl, but I'm hoping that you wouldn't do that to me and intentionally hurt me right now. I'm a better person than that. You know, yada yada yada. This is basically what I sent him. So I was being so supportive of him. And then November 14th comes along. And this is when I get text messages saying he has changed his relationship status on Facebook. So I sent messages, just so you know, you're such an ass to take me to the beach and not even tell me you wanted to be with someone else. In a relationship, I said, we are not friends since you can't even be honest with me. Please never speak to me again. I said that. I may eat my words for the rest of my life. I said, furthermore, if you're in a relationship on October 25th, why'd you text me about deactivating my Facebook on November 6th? Why couldn't you just be happy with whoever you have and let me do my own healing over here? What happened next was, you know, eventually I think at some point he responded. We got into an argument or something. I don't know. We kind of quit speaking at that point. So 2 months go by. On Christmas Day of 2020, I am trying to be present for my children and trying to enjoy the time with my family. And I see a post on Facebook from him about his sister and his sister. They created a Facebook page for his sister in memory of his sister. And it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because I was like, you were so mean to her when she was alive. You know, I was still like fuming over what he had done to her, what he had done to me. All I could do was think back and have all these memories. And I was like, you know what? This is not serving me right now. To see this, I don't need to open up my phone and see this and have it change my mood and upset me, because I'm trying to heal and I'm trying to be present with my family. So I just block him on Facebook so that I don't see what he posts. So December 28th comes along, and me and my mom were at Walmart. I was getting a few things. It had to have been a Saturday or Sunday afternoon. I think it was a Sunday afternoon. And my Apple Watch goes off while I'm in line checking out at Walmart. And I was like, didn't really think too much of it. I was like, maybe it's, you know, like my walkie meter that tells me I hit so many steps or whatever. So we finished checking out at Walmart and we get to the car. And I check my phone before I put it down and start the car to drive off, because I'm driving. And I see that it's a text message from him. So I got the text message from him December 28th that he was mad that I blocked him on Facebook. I don't even know why at this point I'm trying to like still be nice to this fool and explain things to him, because there's no him comprehending and being like a common sense decent human being who has like compassion for people. But, you know, me being the loving, caring, compassionate person that I am, I respond to him, tell him why I did it. I was doing it for my own healing, whatever. But, you know, within a week, or a few days after this text message, I unblock him because, again, here we go with the brainwashing, emotional abuse, narcissistic cycle that I've been stuck in him with the whole time. He wants to control everything, and he knows exactly how to control me because he knows exactly the type of person that I am. But I'm like, whatever. I don't want to ever intentionally hurt somebody. And you know what? Maybe it bothered him enough that when he noticed that he was blocked, that he reached out to me. So I unblocked him. Although supposedly this whole time, you're like in love with this girl. Spoiler alert. The girl he left me for was the same girl he left me for 10 years ago. Remember, if you go all the way back to the beginning of this video, how I said that we dated in 2010 for 6 months and he couldn't get over his ex and I helped him find her. Same girl, same chick. Oh yeah. I don't even know what to think about that. I unblocked him. And then he turned around and immediately blocked me. Like, what the hell was the point in that? Just so that he could have control? Whatever. So, we have not spoken since that day. I am still going to therapy. I don't know if I will ever get over all the emotional abuse I have gone through and the trust issues and what has happened. I should never want to speak to him again. But deep down, once you love someone so much that you're willing to say without a doubt, I would marry you and spend the rest of my life with you. But deep down, I want to know that he's okay. I do want him to be happy. Because I can't pretend like I don't care. I think once you care that deeply for someone, you will always care on some kind of level. In February of 2021, I did find out that his grandma passed away. And I tried to text him and just say that I'm sorry about your grandma and I'm praying for your family. And of course, I could tell from the way iMessage does and doesn't show delivered and things on an iPhone if you're blocked that I was blocked. So I sent an email to his email address that I have on file for him from when we were dating. And the subject line just said, sorry about your grandma. And the body of the email just said, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I heard about your grandma. I'm praying for you and your whole family. To this day, I've not received a response. I don't know if he got it. I don't know if I'm blocked from his email. I don't know if he just chose not to respond, if he read it, if he deleted it without reading it. It is shitty of him as a person. The way he did, the way he made me feel like he was so sad and so upset over his sister's death that I was scared to tell him how I was feeling, how I was not doing well with the news, how I was struggling with it, and this whole time, he just wanted to be with someone else. It hurts to know that the one person I trusted most in this world lied to me and just wouldn't have enough respect for me to be honest with me. I am now trying to heal from everything that has happened the last few years. In working with a therapist, I am trying to find things that I enjoy doing, that bring me joy, that I can focus my time and thoughts and energy on so that I don't think about him, so that I don't sit here and think about everything that has happened. Playing with my camera and photography and video editing would bring me joy and pass the time. And so that is what I'm doing, why I started my YouTube channel, to give me something to focus on, to look forward to hopefully meet new people online and have something to feel worthwhile again and get my self-confidence back. And I can just hope now that, I can meet new people on YouTube, and you never know, different people bring so much joy, and different, people from different backgrounds, different culture bring different ways of doing things and different thoughts and different ways of looking at things, you know, which is why I still go see my therapist and I'll work with a therapist, because she can think about things differently than my brain thinks about things, and she can give me a different perspective. So I am looking for a happy outlook on my life. I am hoping that this is the start of a new me, my journey to finding myself again, and my journey to learning to be happy and just be free and to let things go that have happened. Life happens. It happens to all of us. Everyone has things that hurt them, and everybody has things that make them happy. And just because I ended up in this place doesn't mean I can't end up in a better place. I take that lesson from A, and what she taught me when I was leaning on her the most is that, you know, you just gotta live life for every day. You've gotta love yourself and love who you are. So I try to honor her by living life the way she would. She was so loving. Here is to 2021.